Okay, let's see how this goes. We are trying to do this on a completely different platform. So this is brand new for me. So hopefully we'll get this going in the right direction. See if that works. Hi, Miss Jennifer. Hopefully y'all can see me. I can't see anybody or anything. But tonight we're going to be talking about really some planetary alignments that have been affecting us and will continue to affect us for especially most of this summer, which is kind of just really kind of crazy good. So it's one of those, I'm just trying to get everybody a little bit more insight, a little bit more information, a little bit more kind of some ideas of how to work through this energy. I think that's one of the things that can be really crazy about a lot of this is trying to understand what is going on or how things are happening. So I think that's one of the things that I find most critical of trying to understand the energy. And I don't even know, I hope, can't see you. That's what I thought, Jennifer. This is supposed to be, let's see if that's it. I don't know. Hi, Miss Sharon. Let's see. I got a crash course last night. So hopefully, if y'all can't see me though, that's weird. I'm missing you guys. I'm missing my friends. Can't see you on YouTube. Okay, so. What am I doing wrong? That's what I need someone to tell me. What am I doing wrong? That's not it. Okay. Let's see. Okay, I think I figured it out, guys. I figured it out. There we go. Hopefully y'all can see me now. Let me know. All I see is the background, but no video. So, okay, hopefully I'm on. I feel like I'm on. Yay. So I'm so excited to be with you guys. At the end, I will be doing some angel cards to kind of give us a little bit more information of what's going on. So let's start out with talking about Pluto, which is one of the planets that has really been affecting most of us. And that's one of the things that I think is most important. I get a lot of Pluto energy with people that have been going on. I know, I'm so sorry. We're working on a brand new platform. We're starting with StreamYard to see if we can kind of streamline some stuff for me to make things a little bit more easy. So we'll see how it goes. Hello, Miss Carmen. So tonight, let's start with, Pluto in retrograde. And Pluto is in retrograde in the sign of Capricorn. So that kind of gives us a little bit of some interesting energy or some different flows. So let me just give you some hard dates on Pluto itself. So Pluto entered pre-shadow on January 4th. It turns and stations retrograde later on this month, April 27th, and it's in retrograde until October 2nd. And then it goes into post-shadow energy from October 2nd till January 25th, 2021. So kind of what it's kind of doing to us is kind of this strange energy. So Pluto has this very instinctual side. And this really does amp up during Pluto in retrograde, and it kind of brings people towards different paths or paths that you didn't think that you really were meant to go down. And that's kind of the fun, weird part in a strange way, is not thinking that this is something that is going to affect you or things that are going to come at you very distinctly. And so, like I said, your whole intuitive side just starts kicking up or amping up during this time frame. And then we kind of add a little bit of strangeness as it goes later on this month into full retrograde on the 27th. And really, we're going to start seeing this people go into this process of like inner transformation. And this inner transformation is usually something that goes really easy for a while, and then it'll kind of pop out once in a while. It'll kind of be like, all of a sudden, like mom's going through so many changes. Now mom loses her mind and kind of everything at once, and then it'll calm back down again. So it's the best way to describe it. So it's kind of like, able to kind of tune in a little bit differently. Let's see, I've got Dee on Instagram, and then I've got Jade on there. So this energy is just kind of bringing in a lot of changes for a lot of people, and it's going to kind of put us in this retrospective kind of like inner, what am I doing? How am I working in the world? And what's interesting is this is the time of year that I usually get during the next few months, a lot of people asking, am I on the right path? Am I doing my life purpose? Those kind of things really come up. And in April is no different. You're going to find really some interesting energy in there. What I will tell you, though, that one of the interesting things is this is a time not to do a lot of outward changes. It's one of those, it's time to think about it. It's time to rethink, rewire ourselves. Like, what do we want to do? How do we want to make this time work for us? This will be some time that periods of time that you may kind of get like a little melancholy and kind of like, I'm not really sure about all of this. Kind of, what do I do, or how do I do this? So a lot of people kind of going into, I don't want to say depression, because it's not that. It's more like this, I'm not really sure. I'm not sure how I'm going to do this. I'm not sure how this is going to work for me kind of energy. So this gets a little bit crazier, a little bit more interesting as it goes along. In short, during this time frame, it's time to gather the clues about your like unconscious fears. What is holding you back? What is keeping you from doing what you really, 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 really wanted to do? If, wishes were dreams, what would you be doing? How would you be living your life? It's one of those, what would you bring to you that you haven't been bringing into yourself? Kind of what have you been wanting to give to yourself that is not coming into you? So that's kind of like Pluto, this crazy energy with Pluto. It's kind of just an interesting energy in Pluto. The next one we're going to go to is Jupiter. And I kind of feel like Jupiter doesn't affect as many people as Pluto does. The further out the planet is, the more likely it's going to affect us. The further out, it kind of shines all of its light back on us, and it kind of changes that energy for us. The further out, it changes more people, and you will start seeing people with Pluto, kind of like political people, people on national stages, that sort of thing. People in Hollywood, people in politics, all that kind of stuff, kind of coming up with changes or how to fix or change or modify. Pluto, because Pluto is kind of like our next door neighbor, it's going to change more individuals than it is going to change the global scene of things. So let's go in here and let's see. So let's get some dates on Pluto. So Pluto went into retrograde on March 27th, so just last month. It will station full retrograde on June 20th to October 18th. And then after that, it will go into post shadow until January 8th of 2022. So this is some energy that is coming at us fairly quickly. And like I said, it's going to be more of this individual change. Jupiter is kind of governs big businesses, higher education, the law, the status quo, things that we normally do, kind of like that's the law. That's the way we deal with things. That's the energy that everybody does. And then it's kind of like, because Jupiter goes into retrograde in one sign and then jumps back to another and then jumps back. So it's going to have some different energy with it, because it kind of goes between two different signs. This is going to bring people kind of wanting to be more obedient, wanting to be like within the right, like this is my job, or this is what I'm supposed to be doing. This kind of becomes like a really interesting energy with everything else that's going on. But the problem with Pluto is that Pluto kind of is kind of like a pessimistic, or kind of can wear out your energy really in a strange way. I think that's kind of the interesting part. And it can concentrate its determination or its willpower on people to gain strength, future kind of like possession of energy, that sort of thing. And it will also help kind of bring some positive results into your life. That's kind of like Pluto. It's going to affect people, but it's not going to affect globally as much as some of the other planets. Like Saturn is kind of in between everybody. So Saturn goes into retrograde. Let's see, February 14th, it went into retrograde. It went into pre-shadow. It full retrogrades May 23rd through October 10th. And then after that, it goes into post-shadow until January 15th, 2021. So it's going to be there for quite a while. Kind of Saturn has some really strong energy, and kind of Saturn is ruled by like almost like a teacher kind of energy. Like these are the things that we need to do. This is the order we need to do it in. Saturn is very strong, and it's kind of the planet I like to watch the most during retrograde, especially when it's in full retrograde. Everybody who's kind of done something wrong or any of that kind of stuff between when it went out of retrograde last time until it went into retrograde this time kind of gets a kick in the karmic beauty. It's one of those, it's kind of just really interesting because you'll see people kind of falter on things or not do well in things. You'll see people kind of stumble, and also, like I said, you'll start seeing people kind of like blurt out because these two planets, Saturn and Pluto, are kind of so close together. They're going to kind of push people to kind of speak their truth, which is a really interesting side of things. So that's kind of like an interesting one. If y'all have any questions, make sure you post them up. I am willing to answer your questions. Saturn is also really interesting in being very strict and being kind of very disciplinarian. Hey, Ty. Very disciplinarian. Saturn is all about doing the work, doing the hard work, the things that need to be taken care of, or the things that need to be done or moved into better energy. So this is kind of the pushing in to things. And also kind of the strange part about Saturn is sometimes people will be led to modify while it's in retrograde their diet. I know that's kind of strange. You'll see more people kind of going into the diet phase as Saturn goes into retrograde than you will at other times. And that's kind of an interesting phenomena. And you will see those karmic debts being played out. And like I said, that's kind of the interesting part. Let's go into Venus in retrograde, and I don't have the dates for Venus. I will have to look them up. Let's see if I can do that real quick. I could if I could write. Venus in retrograde is all about love, and there's some connections with Venus going into retrograde that are going to be quite interesting as all of these energies come together. Let me see if I can see where they. Okay. I'm all the way into June. I don't see it. Okay. So somehow this got in the wrong energy. This is the wrong energy. So let's see what we've got going on. Okay. Let's go into Neptune. Neptune is the one that I know has been affecting most people. This is the one that has been really kind of pushing people's energy in a different way. And this is the one that I have, this is the one that really pushes people. So Neptune in retrograde, let's give you some dates on Neptune in retrograde. It started in its pre-shadow energy March 4th. It fully retrogrades June 25th through December 1st. And then it's in post-shadow energy until March 21st of 2022. Neptune, because it's so far out, it's going to be affecting a lot more people, a lot more energy coming in with us. Neptune in retrograde is kind of like provoking that awareness. It's going to bring out some turmoil and some instability, kind of enough to kind of make you interested in kind of, what should I be doing next? Where should I be looking? What is my next job? Or where do I need to go with this? And pushing you kind of like, where do you need to go? Also, Neptune will give you some private time, which is kind of an interesting thing when you kind of go into like, I need to really think about this. I need to take a break or and kind of retreat ourselves into that energy. It will really start to push this energy of just everybody kind of leave you alone for a little bit. So you might get a break. It really invites us to kind of anchor ourselves in the present. Because Neptune is kind of this blue, dreamy planet, all during this time frame, your dreams will start to just amplify like nobody's business. Things that are possibly coming up or coming up in the near future, you'll start having dreams about that. You may even have some dreams going into some past lives and bringing up some old energy that you thought you kind of worked through, but it's still going to come up and kind of bite us a little bit. That's one of the things I think is really interesting during this time frame. You'll kind of have that nostalgic kind of look back of, oh, I remember this, oh, I remember that. And on top of that, we also have during this time frame, we have some meteor showers that kind of also amplify that energy. Meteor showers, whenever they come back by, they kind of stir up the dust around the planet and they'll kind of bring in some old energy for us. Kind of one of the best things to be doing is looking forward, kind of embracing your spiritual side, surrounding yourself with positive energies, kind of like what's coming up, what's going into things. One of the interesting parts is kind of doing some metaphysical meditations help kind of balance your energy. It can also be really, really healthy for you to move this energy in, but it's one of those, it will dominate our dreams. It will, people that normally aren't dreamers will be dreaming as well. So it's one of those things will be pumping up or amping up on their own. And people will just have this interesting quality, and you will hear about some fascinating dreams. And if you've had some, you can email me and I'll send you a list of things if you want to. I will do one of my upcoming Thursday night lives. I will do it just on dream interpretations during Neptune in retrograde, because they really do get really funky and kind of just strange. So it's an interesting way to do that. It's a really great time to kind of reflect on our hopes and our dreams, kind of like, what were the dreams that you had for your life when you were a kid? What did you want to be when you were a child? And not that you need to do that, but it's like, what was that job bringing into you? What did you want to do? What was the fascination with that? And are you still having that same fascination with the job that you have now? Or are you willing to change, fix, or do something different? And it kind of gives us a different understanding of our aspirations. As I was saying, is like kind of, what did you want to do compared to what you are doing? And sometimes there's a lot of similarities to what you did want to do compared to what you are doing. Hi, Miss Christy. And this is a really great time. We are going to be amped up with Neptune in retrograde. We are going to be amped up in creativity. So this is a really great time to kind of, what creativity things that we want to do. Do we want to do art projects? Do we want to do craft projects? What are the things that we want to really amplify in our creativity department? And that is a really fun one. One of the last ones that we're going to talk about just a little bit is Mercury goes into retrograde. I know everybody's like, no, not Mercury into retrograde. Mercury starts into pre-shadow on May 16th, fully retrogrades from May 29th through June 22nd. And then after June 22nd is in post-shadow until July 7th. And this one is going to be kind of a strong one because you've got so many other planetary alignments affecting it at the same time. This is something that's going to affect us probably more than some of the other planets. Like I said, the closer in it is, the more it affects us. The further out it is, the more it affects everybody else. So let's pull a couple of angel cards and get some more information about some of these planets. If you have any questions about the planets or what we've talked about, I know some of this can be a little heavy. Sometimes it can be a little overwhelming, and trying to understand retrogrades itself is kind of weird. I'll tell you that one. Freedom. This one is coming in because we have, I didn't talk about it tonight necessarily, but Uranus is in its post shadow and will get out of post shadow and be completely out of retrograde stations as of April 30th. And then it kind of brings in this really fun, loving, freedom energy for all of us. I call Uranus my hippy dippy child, and it has just some really fun energy that is going to be bringing some changes for us. Study is the next card that I get. Study is really interesting. Let's see if I can get the shine out of it. Studying is kind of like, what do you want to study? What are the things that you are willing to study or would like to study? And it could be in any area of your life. It doesn't have to be just in one. It's, what would you like to study? Maybe that's, hey, Anne. Hey, Donna Marie. It's one of those, what are the things that you would like to amplify in your study? And sometimes that's just studying us. Like I said, talking about like, what were your childhood dreams? Sometimes our childhood dreams really never die, and they're always stuck in there to some degree. Retreat. Like I said, this is one of them coming in, that you'll have this time to kind of, in Neptune, kind of to take a retreat. You'll see people kind of taking a rest or kind of taking a step back from their energy, really taking a break and kind of getting a chance to redo their own thinking, their own thoughts. That's a really good one. And then, like I said, this is a really great time for spiritual growth. You will find, especially your intuitive abilities, really amping up during this time frame, which is kind of really cool to have that amp up during this time frame. And it's really interesting. If you haven't done it, it's one of those, I have a video out called Body Testing, and that is a really great way to get into energy of what's coming up next, or what are the decisions that I need to be taking, or what are the things that I need to be doing. So that's kind of just an interesting energy to be in. Let's see, playfulness. This is some energy that's going to be playing on our planet for quite a while. All of this, like I said, all of these planets are in retrograde until, most of them until, August, September, October, November timeframe. And so this is going to be something that's going to be amping up. This is going to be a very interesting energy for all of us. So just know that that's coming in to make some changes. So that's kind of the interesting, cool part. Let's see. If y'all got any questions about the planetary alignments and how that energy is affecting all of us, I am more than willing to answer those questions. Trust. Trust is a very interesting one, because you've really got to trust your own energy in this, and really trust that you are amping up or moving in the right direction. There are some times when we feel like we have not done well, or we haven't fulfilled what we need to do. And so trust yourself that you're kind of moving on your path. You may not be moving as quickly as you would like, but I will tell you that it's really fun to continue to move in that area and to really amplify what you really want to do in this time frame, in this life. That's a great thing to bring up. I've got two cards popping now. New beginnings. A lot of people think that planets in retrograde are only there to kind of mess with us or mess us up or make us fall down or have issues or anything like that. It's really not. It's one of those, it's kind of a great time to make some new beginnings within ourselves of what do we want to bring? What do we want to do? How do we want to do this energy this time? And a lot of times people think of retrogrades, especially Mercury in retrograde. Whenever that goes into retrograde, I think people just like freak out a little bit. but it really is a time to do a lot of inner thinking about what do you want to bring into the world, what do you want to do in the world, and how do you want that to look for you. Children, this is kind of like childlike ideas, and you may get some amazing childlike ideas from the kids around you. I am still into coloring. I love coloring. I love that energy of bringing that to me and kind of amping up my creativity. I was talking to someone today, and I was saying, like, I never have enough time for creativity. I will get all the stuff to do something, and then I never get the time to fix it, or I never get the time to finish it. Something else comes up, or a client needs to do something, and I get wiped out in energy, and then I never get a chance to finish it. That's the sad part. The last one is body care. And this one comes in to let us know that it is really time to take care of us during all of this energies. We are going to have plenty of energy jumping at us over the next few months. Take it easy with yourself. There's also some other planetary alignments that we'll be talking in May that are coming up and really starting to amp, and we'll be making some conjunctions and some other squares to other planets and kind of like pushing that energy. And it's one of those, what are we going to do, or how are we going to deal with some of this? And like I said, this will be mostly on the global stage, because it'll be more with the Plutos and the Neptunes way out there in the ethers that are kind of going to really push this changing energy on us. Some really amplifying energy. You will see political people kind of like all of a sudden just like drop a truth bomb, like just plop, here it comes. You will also see that in everyday aspects, just, in your normal everyday life, people just drop this truth like, oh my gosh. And when they say it, it's almost like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I said this. I can't believe I let this out of the bag. So this is some really good time to take some time for yourself. Think about what you want to bring into your life. What are the things that you want to deal with? What are the things that you want to amplify in this time frame? So that's a really interesting energy. Does anybody have any questions for the planetary alignments? For any information. One of the ones I get asked the most is really, what does retrograde mean? I get asked that probably more than anything else because I think just people don't understand it. There is some amazing energy in retrogrades, yet it can be I'm going to say difficult to understand sometimes. Someone's asking, yes, I do connect with people that have passed. If y'all wanted to do a private reading, y'all will need to set up with me at another later date. Like, you can go to my website at ruththeresa.com, or you can through my website and find my phone number and contact me that way. I do not do private readings during live events. So sorry about that, ladies. If y'all have questions about retrograde, or how this is going to affect us, or how it's going to affect you, I would be more than happy to answer those questions. Anybody has any questions about planets going into retrograde, or the planets that will be affecting us the most over the next few months? I know, it's crazy. So one of the things I'm going to explain really quickly is I'm going to explain retrograde. Retrograde, like I said, this is the question I get asked the most. Retrograde is really, from our perspective on Earth, other planets look like they are kind of like, as we're racing around the corner, it looks like they start to slow down at some point, and it looks like we continue going. So it looks like they're going backwards, but they're really not. But as they do that, their energy shifts for us, because they're not pushing that normal energy at us, and it will change how we do things. So that's kind of an interesting perspective for us, that we can push in that area. And then and that's kind of the way it is, though. It starts out in its regular dimensions. We are going to be side by side, and then as we make the curve, that planet will look like it's starting to go backwards, and that's called pre-shadow. And then it looks like it almost stops, and we keep moving forward, and that's full retrograde. And then in post-shadow, it looks like it's starting to speed back up and catches back up with us. So that's really retrograde 101, kind of the basics of it. I hopefully will be on live next week, the 22nd, and we will be doing some other energies. If you have any questions for me, or if you wanted to book a session with me, make sure you head over to my website at ruththeresa.com. And I thank y'all so much for joining me this evening. Y'all have an amazing week. I'll be talking to you soon.